thank you for allowing me this opportunity to offer you a chance to vote for a new direction in government. We can change politics in Ontario. We can vote to limit government so it protects all honest, law-abiding citizens instead of restricting them. My name is Paul Blair. I am your candidate for the Freedom Party of Ontario in Scarborough North. Freedom Party is an officially registered Ontario political party that has been working for individual freedom, justice, lower taxes, and free enterprise since 1984, when the party was founded. Far more than just a political party, which fields candidates during elections, on a full-time basis, Freedom Party lobbies, educates, and supports groups and individuals working toward common, just goals. As things stand today, we enjoy the right of free speech, unless the state withdraws consent. Our right to the properties we have bought and paid for can be confiscated at the government's discretion. The police forces of our province and nation have had their oath changed. They no longer pledge to uphold the rights of the individual. They now pledge to uphold the laws of the state. We were told that Canadians had gained new freedom because our law enforcers no longer swore allegiance to the Queen of England. We forgot the pledge was to a figurehead, in the name of the people. In order to live in a peaceful and prosperous society, thinking people grant to their government the right to the use of force in the defense of their rights. Through the tools of the police and courts and military, in a free democracy, they and the government are meant to serve the people. The candidates of the other parties have been offering their ideas and solutions for all the problems and concerns. I'm here to tell you that no government can resolve all of life's difficulties and misfortunes for everyone who complains. Government that has grown to the size and scope of ours, and even reduced by the degree that the progressive conservatives promise, still create and sustain more problems than they solve. Many of you are trying to decide which of the parties will create the most jobs. You recognize that the fewer people working, the less wealthy Ontario will be. What we need to consider is at what expense and whose expense will the government create these jobs, and will these jobs be productive? I heard it said that during their campaigns, all three of the major parties have moved to the center in vying for your vote. To each of them, the political center is the center of socialism. The NDP remain honest socialists, even though they've failed. The Liberals are pretending they won't be too liberally socialist. The Conservatives, being progressive, were already in the middle. The title Progressive Conservative seems contradictory until you recognize that, as shown by their record, rent controls, support of universality, they are conservative socialists. None of them can pretend they haven't helped run this province to near bankruptcy over the past 30 years. If we weren't talking about government that has the power to tax us, Ontario's creditors would have foreclosed long ago. But people still vote for the lesser of three evils. What many of you now recognize is that it's one evil common to them all. All three think or pretend that government can tax and control a society's wealth and spend it to create a more equal society. They refuse to accept that too many of us won't make an extra effort if we can't improve our lives proportionately. The evil is the tax penalty on production and its sacrifice to consumption. The able punished and the unwilling rewarded along with the unable. They are all in denial as to what makes economics and people work. By continuing to vote for the lesser of three evils, we continue to elect governments that have multiplied the problems we find ourselves facing today. It is not possible to have laws that create equal results. It is possible to have laws that create equal opportunity. I am here to give you an opportunity to vote for a government restricted by strict principle and philosophy, letting people improve their personal situation by restoring the unavoidable links between freedom and responsibility, effort and reward. If you aren't responsible for your own life, you will not be free to choose how you live. With freedom of choice comes responsibility. You knew that when you left your parents' home. We believe in individual freedom of choice with individual responsibility. Here is where Freedom Party stands on some crucial issues. We are committed to reinstating the principle of equality of all before the law. We support provincial judicial respect for private property rights. We support impartial courts and punishment that fits the crime, not the criminal. We advocate balanced budget legislation and maximum tax limits. Freedom Party supports the elimination of legislation preferential to special interests, including grants, funding, and subsidies to business and other lobbies. I will direct social benefits only to those in demonstrable need. As your Freedom Party candidate, I will lobby for the repeal of Bill 79, Employment Equity Laws, Bill 40, Labor Legislation, Bill 8, the French Services Act. I will fight for the elimination of the Human Rights Commission, read Group Rights Commission, and its political tribunals. In the public school system, we propose clear standards and objective evaluation of students, programs, and staff. We advocate a return to direct instruction, the systematic use of phonics to teach literacy skills, standardized testing, and effective standards of discipline. We support the right of taxpayers to direct their taxes to the school or schools of their choice, including private options. Ontarians are a diverse people. Let's stop one-size-fits-all education. There is a fundamental difference to Freedom Party. There is no point in my mentioning numbers or target dates in regard to debt reduction. You all understand that without a full independent audit, no one can truly guess how deeply in debt the last three governments have left us. Freedom Party is dedicated to and philosophically committed to limiting government to its proper and necessary functions. You may have noticed that Freedom Party advocates a major reduction in what the government would do for you and to you as an individual. Freedom Party is founded on the principle that the proper role of Ontario's government is to maintain impartial law and order so that every individual, in the peaceful pursuit of his personal fulfillment, has a right, absolute right, to his or her own life, liberty, and property. It is not possible for a government to provide all citizens with equal results. Good government ensures that all citizens are given an equal opportunity to work for the results they choose to achieve. The purpose of government is to protect individual freedom of choice, not to restrict it. 54% of all the monies earned in this province are being taxed away from those who earn it and then doled out by politicians who in part maintain their power by dividing us into begging special interest groups. It's time to change direction. Let's accentuate the positive. If you recognize that we need to make a change in what we let our governments do to us, then may I suggest you help me send a message to the Ontario Legislature. Vote for government to have less power over you as an individual. Vote to protect the citizens of Scarborough and Ontario. Vote Paul Blair, Freedom Party, Scarborough North. Thank you very much.